Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we've got just an extraordinary personal story to explore. It starts from, really humble beginnings in Thailand, goes through some significant hardship and heartbreak, and then somehow ends up in this life of unexpected wealth and purpose in Belgium.
hmm
Our source material is an audio case study called I Will Do Everything for You. It really feels like it pulls back the curtain on these sort of invisible threads guiding her life.
Yeah, it's a fascinating one.
So our mission today is to really explore the incredible twists and turns of her life and try to understand the karmic explanations behind, well, pretty much everything, the good fortune, the bad fortune, all of it.
And what's really captivating here, I think, is how this story serves as this rich tapestry. It lets us connect these seemingly random events.
Hmm.
I mean, things from family health issues to huge financial windfalls to these really profound karmic patterns.
Right.
It's almost like a perfect real-world illustration of cause and effect playing out across lifetimes. We'll be looking at specific actions, intentions, even things like how animals were treated.
Okay, let's dive in. So her story begins with her parents in rural Thailand. Her father, he was from Nong Khai, described as quiet, hardworking, strict farmer, but also, interestingly, a master basket weaver. Apparently, he was really skilled, made things for neighbors, too.
Right, that skill is notable.
And her mother, from Ubon Ratchathani, was also very diligent. Homemaker, gardened, and she was a talented silk weaver. And importantly, she taught her daughters polite speech, saw it as a charm.
Yeah, that detail about speech is interesting too.
And both parents were devout temple goers, consistently making merit.
Okay, so if we look at this through that karmic lens, their dedication, their merit making, that definitely built a foundation. But, their lives also had significant illness.
Right.
Her father, he got sick at 74, inflamed gallbladder, needed emergency surgery around mid-1991. He passed away about 5 months later. And the source tells us this specific illness, the gallbladder inflammation, stemmed from past karma of killing animals for sale, for food, combined with a strong tendency to hold grudges. Like really hold on to them, never forgiving.
Wow. Grudges linked specifically to the gallbladder. That's
Yeah.
specific.
Yes, it suggests a link between, unresolved negative emotions and particular physical issues across lifetimes. Our emotional state impacting physical health.
Okay, so what about her mother? Was her illness also linked to something specific karmically?
It was, yeah. Her mother got very ill with severe pulmonary tuberculosis back in early 1983. Lost weight rapidly, extreme fatigue. She passed away just 2 months later, only around 50 years old.
So young.
Very. And her TB, the source links it karmically to a past life where she kept animals in really unsanitary, cramped conditions, causing them suffering, restricting their space and well-being, also linked to past animal killing and overworking animals.
So the suffering inflicted through confinement or poor conditions came back as a lung condition, affecting breath and freedom in a sense.
Exactly. It's like the restriction imposed manifested as a restriction within our own body. It really shows how actions towards other beings can mirror back onto us.
It's quite poignant. But despite these illnesses, their lifelong merit-making paid off in the afterlife, didn't it?
It absolutely did. Because of all that accumulated merit, both parents became Brahmadevas.
Hmm.
These are divine beings in higher heavenly realms.
Okay.
They ended up in the same celestial village, actually, in nearby divine homes with provisions. And interestingly, the merits their daughter continued to share with them actually improved their state even further after death.
So that consistent merit-making really did create a strong safety net for the next life.
Definitely. A very strong positive foundation.
Okay, so let's turn to our protagonist now. She was the fifth of 8 kids. At just 17, she had an arranged marriage. The source calls it Krum Tung Chon. It was with an agricultural produce buyer, about 5 years older than her. They had 3 kids over 9 years. But then came this huge turning point.
The mother's illness.
Exactly. Her mother gets severe TB, and our protagonist, out of this deep sense of duty, filial piety, decides to nurse her mother in the hospital.
A really noble act,
Yeah.
but one that caused friction.
Big time. Her husband strongly disapproved. He was afraid of catching it, apparently, and was quite disrespectful towards her parents.
Yeah.
This led to huge arguments, this fundamental clash, her devotion versus his lack of respect, and ultimately, they divorced.
And the timing was just fresh.
Heartbreaking. Her mother passed away just 8 days after the divorce was finalized.
Wow. Now, karmically, the source is clear. This arranged marriage situation wasn't gamgamy, which is specific karma from sexual misconduct.
Right.
Instead, it reflected her own past actions. In a prior life, in a similar agricultural society, she had apparently arranged marriages for her own children or grandchildren. It was like a mirror.
So the experience itself was a karmic echo.
Precisely. And the reason for the divorce wasn't infidelity karma, but this clash of virtues. Her profound filial piety just couldn't coexist with his disrespect for her parents. Their core values were fundamentally misaligned.
That's a really interesting way to frame it. It wasn't an external act, but an internal misalignment of virtues that forced the separation. It really shows how our character, our values can be the deciding factor in relationships.
Absolutely. Our inner qualities, our moral compass, they really do shape who we connect with, who we stay with, and the kinds of situations we find ourselves in.
So after the divorce, the mother's death, she's basically on her own, needing to support her kids. What does she do?
She had to work really hard, went abroad first, spent 2 tough years in Singapore as a cook and a nanny.
Okay.
Then she came back to Bangkok for a year, worked in a beauty salon. But she had ambition, she wanted more. So with a friend, she decided to head to Belgium to work in a restaurant.
And that brings us to January 19th, 1986. Her arrival in Belgium.
Yeah, and talk about a rough start.
Right. The moment she arrives, her luggage vanishes. All her clothes, everything she'd carefully gathered, worth over 40,000 baht, apparently gone. Just like that.
Imagine standing there in a foreign country with literally just the clothes on your back, utterly lost.
It seems unbelievably cruel.
It seems that way, and I'm sure it felt devastating.
Yeah.
But karmically, this is a classic case of something the texts call thukalap, trouble-turned-blessing.
Trouble-turned-blessing. How so?
Well, the source links the lost luggage directly to past karma. In a previous life, she was poor but wanted to make an offering to monks.
Okay.
So she stole mangoes from someone's garden to make the offering. Now, the intention was good, wanting to offer, but the source of the offering was impure, stolen.
Right.
That impurity, the theft aspect, manifested as the loss of her belongings in this life. It shows karma isn't just black and white good bad deeds. The purity of the source matters.
That's a really key detail. The source of the offering itself carries weight. So it wasn't just that she gave, but what she gave and how she got it.
Precisely. But here's the blessing part of the trouble-turned-blessing.
Yep.
In that exact moment of despair, standing there luggageless, this kind Belgian businessman approaches her. He's about 45, married but separated from his wife.
Okay.
He helps her sort out the lost luggage issue, starts visiting her monthly at the restaurant where she ends up working, gives her pocket money, basically becomes a support system.
Wow. So the bad luck immediately created an opening for good luck.
Exactly. Because the act of offering the fruit, even though it was stolen, still generated merit because the intention to give was there.
I see.
And that merit created the karmic link connecting her to this specific man because they had shared merit from past lives together. So the bad karma, theft, caused the loss. But the good karma offering immediately brought this helpful person into her life.
That's incredible, the complexity of it. One action leading to both immediate loss and immediate connection.
It really demonstrates those subtle, multi-layered consequences of karma.
So this businessman becomes a fixture in her life. But things get more complicated, right? There's another suitor.
Yes, indeed. While she's working at the restaurant, another man, a bit older, 51, a small business owner, becomes interested. He's quite open about it, visits her often.
Okay.
He eventually proposes marriage and even offers to help her get out of her difficult restaurant contract, which sounds like it wasn't a great situation.
So she has a potential way out, a marriage proposal.
Right. But just as she's considering this, the first man, the wealthy businessman, reappears quite dramatically. He finds out she's left the restaurant, tracks her down.
Oh, but...
And when she tells him she's thinking of marrying someone else, he apparently kneels down, cries, declares his love.
Wow.
And then offers to fulfill her deepest desire to go back home to Thailand.
And not just a ticket home, right? The offer was huge.
Absolutely staggering. He offers her 1 million francs in cash right there and then.
1 million francs?
To build a house, start a business, plus the plane ticket. And the only conditions were, don't forget me, and a promise that he'd seek her out if his marital situation changed, if he became free.
That is movie-level dramatic. And life-changing. What did she do?
She took the offer. She knew, deep down, she wanted to build her own life back in Thailand. So she left, didn't even say goodbye to the second suitor, and headed home with 1 million francs.
An unbelievable turn of events. 1 million francs, seemingly out of nowhere, just handed to her. How does karma explain that kind of effortless windfall?
This is where the way we give comes into play karmically. The source explains this easy receiving was a direct result of how she gave in a past life.
How she gave.
Yes, she had performed acts of charity and giving easily, wholeheartedly, without any hesitation, reluctance, or later regret. Just pure, joyful giving.
Ah, okay.
That principle that easy giving leads to easy receiving manifested here. Because she gave effortlessly in the past, wealth came to her effortlessly in this life. It wasn't just the act of giving, but the quality of the giving, the internal state of ease and joy.
That's a really powerful distinction. The internal feeling associated with the act shapes the result just as much as the act itself. So that ease was reflected back to her.
Precisely. It's about the purity and joyfulness of the intention and the action.
And her choosing him, the wealthy man, over the second suitor, was that choice also guided by past karma?
Absolutely. The source states this was basically predetermined by their shared merit. She and this specific man had built significant good karma together across many past lives.
Right.
That shared merit acted like a powerful magnet, ensuring they would reunite and eventually build a life together in this lifetime. The second suitor, however well-intentioned, simply didn't have that deep pre-existing karmic connection with her.
So the shared merit was the invisible force ensuring that relationship would be the one to solidify.
Exactly. It illustrates how these past life connections really do steer us towards the key relationships in our present life.
It's an amazing story arc. So she goes back to Thailand with the money, builds her house, starts a successful real estate business by early 1987, and he keeps his word.
He does. He starts visiting her regularly in Thailand. They travel together, including trips to the USA. Then his own situation changes. He gets divorced from his estranged wife in 1989.
Oh, so he's free.
Yes. And then comes the grand proposal, eventually leading to them getting married in Thailand in 1992. He brings her to Belgium to live in this huge 24-ray mansion he owned.
Sounds like a fairy tale ending almost.
For a time.
Yeah.
She returned to Thailand briefly in 1993 to give birth to their daughter. They seem to have everything: wealth, family, the mansion.
But knowing how these stories often go, things changed.
Dramatically. The karmic winds shifted. Late in 1993, the same year their daughter was born, her husband developed severe coronary artery disease, needed major surgery.
Oh, wow.
And the same year, their mansion was robbed. They lost 13 million baht that was kept in a safe.
13 million, that's a huge loss.
Massive. And then on top of that, an economic crisis hit his businesses hard. He fell into significant debt, had to start selling off assets. Eventually, they had to leave the grand life behind and quietly retreat back to Thailand.
From millionaire mansion owner to retreating, that's a rapid decline.
Very rapid. He passed away not long after, on November 17, 1997, with his wife and daughter beside him.
Such a dramatic rise and fall. What's the karmic take on his immense wealth initially and then losing it all so quickly and tragically?
Well, his initial great wealth was due to making significant merit in the past, and crucially doing it with pati, that deep sense of joy, before, during, and after the good deeds.
Okay, so the joy was key to the wealth.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, and this is a vital point the source makes, later on he developed regret about some of that past merit he'd made. He sort of mentally, or perhaps even verbally, started to wish he hadn't done some of it, metaphorically taking it back.
Regretting past good deeds. How does that work karmically? Does it erase the good?
It doesn't erase it completely, but it severely diminishes its power to sustain the positive results. Think of it like planting a seed for a strong tree, but then constantly poisoning the soil around it with regret and negativity.
Ah, I see.
The initial potential was there, but the regret weakens the outcome. That incomplete or tainted merit couldn't sustain the level of wealth he initially manifested. That regret, combined with what the source calls zigzag or unethical business practices in his current life, created the conditions for the financial collapse and the robbery, especially happening later in his life, closer to his passing.
And the heart disease? Was that also linked back karmically?
Yes, very specifically. His severe coronary artery disease was traced back to a past life where he was a chief engineer building a city. He was apparently always rushing projects, pushing the slave laborers under his command incredibly hard, causing them immense exhaustion and physical strain.
So inflicting that physical burden and exhaustion on others.
Manifested as a major physical burden on his own heart and circulatory system in this life. A direct karmic reflection.
It's incredibly precise. So after he passed, given the regrets, the illness, what was his afterlife like?
It was complicated. Because he died worrying intensely about his wife, his daughter, his lost fortune. His mind wasn't clear or peaceful at the moment of death.
Right, those attachments.
Exactly. So although his past merit was enough for him to be reborn as a Brahmadeva, those lingering attachments meant his consciousness wasn't fully settled there. He sort of wandered between his old plundered mansion, still attached to the lost wealth, and visiting his wife and daughter.
Wow, sort of stuck between worlds because of those final thoughts and regrets.
Pretty much. The source really emphasizes that our protagonist continuing to make merit for him is very important to help his consciousness let go of those attachments and ascend to a more stable, peaceful state in the higher realms.
A poignant reminder of the importance of dying with a clear mind. But her own journey carries on. What happened next for her?
Around 2003, she moved back to Belgium with her daughter, this time living more modestly. And then in late 2004, she had another significant turning point, a spiritual one. She connected with the Buddhist community at Wat Phuth and Vip there and became a really dedicated participant in merit-making activities.
Ah, deepening her spiritual practice.
Very much so. In 2005, for instance, she made significant contributions. Joined the Kathina ceremony, that major annual offering to the Sangha, the monastic community she donated towards building crystal pillars, commissioned Dharma body statues for herself and family members, and even offered 68 statues specifically for the teachers.
So really investing in her spiritual path now.
Yes. And her main aspiration now is to continue making merit alongside her youngest daughter and to follow the guidance of the teachers through all her future lives, essentially aiming to stay within that virtuous circle.
That brings up those deeper past life connections again, doesn't it?
It does. The source explains that both she and her daughter have a history with this path. They were part of the supply corps, basically, dedicated lay supporters providing resources for the Sangha way back in a previous Buddhayon, during the time of a king who renounced his throne to pursue enlightenment.
Wow, so a long history of supporting the path. What about her husband? Did he have similar past connections?
He did, and perhaps even deeper initially. He had also been a supply corps supporter for the Sangha, not just in one, but in many previous Buddhayons. He was apparently very committed back then.
But something changed.
Yes. In the most recent Buddhayon before this life, he slipped out, as the source puts it. He got involved with bad company, listened to negative influences or instigation, and that deviation caused him to lose his connection. It's why, in this current life, he didn't really encounter the Sangha or the teachings until much later, kind of indirectly through his wife.
So even very strong past merit and connection isn't an absolute guarantee if you get pulled off course by negative influences in a later life.
Exactly. It's a powerful lesson, isn't it? That continuous effort, maintaining that resolve, staying close to good influences in the teachings, it's crucial to avoid losing that connection across lifetimes, no matter what challenges come up.
That really underscores the importance of perseverance on the path. So for her current efforts in Belgium, if there are legal hurdles or obstacles, what's the advice?
The advice is quite practical. Do what she can do within the current limitations, but most importantly, continuously bring her mind back to all the merit she has ever accumulated. Meditate on it, rejoice in it, and make strong wishes, strong aspirations for things to become smooth, for obstacles to clear, for miraculous help to arise so she can fulfill her spiritual duties easily. That power of focused intention and recalling past merit is key.
So leveraging her accumulated positive karma through intention.
Precisely.
This whole deep dive, it's just been incredible. Journeying through this one life, seeing how everything filial piety, generosity, how you run a business, how you treat animals, even regrets about past good deeds, it all weaves together this incredibly intricate destiny. It's definitely not a simple cause and effect line. It's nuanced, layered, where one action, like the mango offering, can have both negative and positive results simultaneously.
Yeah.
And how these deep past connections can just surface and guide you through the most unexpected turns.
Yeah.
It really drives home how linked our present is to our past, and I guess how powerfully our intentions right now are shaping what's coming next.
It definitely makes you think. And maybe that raises an important question for everyone listening. What are the subtle karmic threads you are weaving in your own life today?
Right?
Through your actions, your intentions, even your fleeting thoughts. And how might those threads manifest down the line in the unexpected fortunes or perhaps the challenges that shape your future?
That's a powerful thought to end on. It really invites us all to look at our own lives through that lens.
Indeed. It's about recognizing the profound, enduring power of our own choices and intentions, moment by moment.